The top hog, Brett Bielema, in his 5th season as the head coach of the Razorbacks. And he's got a 5th-year senior at quarterback in Austin Allen, a homegrown product. In come the Horned Frogs of Gary Patterson, who won his 150th game a week ago. And he's got a 5th-year senior starting quarterback, too, in Kenny Hill. We're about to call the Hogs in Fayetteville. Woo Pig Suey. Here comes Kenny Hill, blocked for Hicks. Kenny Hill, let's go! 2:05 to go. Austin fires to the goal line. Hatcher's there. Touchdown, Arkansas! Hatcher's going to throw the football, and the 2-point conversion successful. And we're tied at 28. There's the snap. Kicks the other way. Block it. They block it.
Allen running right side. Austin fighting at the goal line at the 1. Touchdown! Arkansas wins!
We can only hope for those kind of thrills today as the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to Fayetteville and Razorback Stadium. The hometown Razorbacks against the number 23 Horned Frogs of Texas. An old Southwest Conference matchup. This is the 70th meeting between these two teams. Sellout crowd, 72,000. It's a beautiful day in Fayetteville. And we welcome you, everybody. I'm Brad Nussler. I think every college football fan in the world knows that the man that held this mic and wore this headset for almost 2 decades, our great friend Vern Lundquist, is not in this booth today. Hopefully he and Nancy are home right now having a late lunch with their feet up on the couch in Steamboat Springs. But if y'all don't mind, I'm going to try to carry these two things for a few years and try to do it with the same class that Vern did for 17 seasons. For 11 of those seasons, his partner in the booth is my partner right now, Gary Danielson. My new partner is also my old partner. You're stuck with me for the second time, man.
Well, we had such a great affinity for Vern. The whole conference loved him. He loved the Dallas Cowboys. And so today I feel like I'm going from Roger Staubach to Troy Aikman. Another Hall of Famer. I'm thrilled to have you. The league is thrilled to have you.
Thanks, partner. Let's talk about the game. We saw what happened a year ago. It's kind of a highlight for Arkansas. Then their season ended badly with 2 losses at the end when they had big leads. TCU sub 500 is not a Gary Patterson team, so they're trying to rectify it here.
Sometimes teams go down the schedule. Tough game, game we must have. Both of these squads have circled this game, must have it. They got tough schedules at the end of the year. I think both teams are saying, if we don't have this one, it's going to be a long season.
We saw the guys that are going to lead the way, 2 fifth-year senior quarterbacks, and they both have had their moments of being brilliant.
Yeah, up and down maybe, but Kenny Hill has been mostly up when he plays Arkansas. And no matter what uniform he wears, whether he's with Texas A&M or TCU, if he saw them, horses for courses, Kenny Hill has had it his way against Arkansas. Austin Allen last year had to carry the team maybe a little too much from the beginning of the season. He was hot, but then against this team, TCU, he had to do it in the 4th quarter, and he did it in a clutch late. Drove him down, got a 2-point reception. In overtime, he throws a touchdown pass and then scores one to tie this game. Both quarterbacks might have been inconsistent at times, but not in this game.
We'll take a 2 overtime game today if they want to give us one. Coming up next from Fayetteville, it's the Hogs and the Frogs. Next. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, Quicken Loans, Aflac, and by Chick-fil-A.
Welcome to Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's another football Saturday in the SEC.
Blood, sweat, and tears it took to live their dreams. When everything's on the line, ain't just another field, just another yard. No, it's a game we grew up on. They think it's a middle of nowhere place where we take it slow. Oh, but they don't.
Got a man open his foot! Oh, my! He'll walk in and score! How about that?
And there he goes.
It's the Horned Frogs and the Hogs. And this is the Home Depot SEC on CBS.
It certainly is, Jason. Way to knock it out of the park. Back in the park at Razorback Stadium. We head down to the field. Third member of our team is Allie LaForce. Allie.
Hey, Brad. Hey, Gary. Listen, before we talk quarterbacks, I'd like to officially welcome Brad Nessler to our SEC on CBS crew. You referenced earlier that you're working with your old partner. I know 27 years ago you were at CBS working college football. Before you went to ABC and ESPN, we did some digging, and we found a pretty classic picture. Look at that hair. Now, your camaraderie, that hasn't changed at all. You guys have been best friends ever since, but maybe a little more hair gel you were using back in the day.
I got to tell you, I had better hairspray because the wind started blowing up in the booth, and mine was going east, the wind was going west.
I think I'm going to start dyeing my hair again.
No, don't do it.
No?
That'll make me look bad.
All right.
Back to Allie.
Now we can talk quarterbacks. Both of these seniors are trying to change the narrative of their careers. For Austin Allen, he may have passed for the most yards in the SEC, but the end of the season collapse for Arkansas is all the focus he needs to have an even better year this year. And for Kenny Hill, the 13 interceptions in a losing season is a far cry from that record-breaking debut we saw at Texas A&M, which feels like a decade ago. And I asked offensive coordinator Sonny Cumbie if he can feel the chip on his shoulder. He said absolutely. Both of these guys still have a lot to prove, and this is their last shot at doing it.
It all started with Kenny at A&M, and he was Kenny Thrill Hill. They got rid of the nickname, and then on to TCU, and he's had big numbers last year, as Gary said, in the two outings, one a win, one a loss. It's perfect. 82 and sunny. Light wind and a sellout crowd of 72,000. The series history, 70th all-time meeting. And, of course, most of those were back in the old Southwest Conference. But they did play a year ago to that thrilling double overtime.
And then there's the series history between Patterson and Bielema.
Exactly.
A Rose Bowl game when Brett was still at Wisconsin. Both of them came down to it right at the last play of the game.
TCU won the toss and deferred. So they'll kick away to the Razorbacks to start our season on CBS. Cole Bunsey to kick. And that is Deion Stewart at the goal line. He'll take it a yard deep. Stewart out across the 25. It's all coming back, though. Flags all over at the 20-yard line. So that's the way to start the season. 3 flags down.
From different directions. They kind of triangulated that one. We're all over it. Boy, it was.
Reggie Smith is our referee holding on Arkansas, so they're going to have themselves in a hole for their first offensive set of the second game of the season. Arkansas, a 49-7 win in their opener for Brett Bielema. 63-0 win on the other side for the Horned Frogs. As we take a look at our Chick-fil-A starting lineups, we talked about Austin Allen. His brother Brandon, of course, preceded him. He's a homegrown product, always wanted to be a Razorback, and there's his numbers in the last meeting against the Horned Frogs. Pretty impressive, including that touchdown run from 5 yards out in double overtime that ended it. But now he's got to start at his own 10-yard line. Devois Whaley is with him in the backfield. Play action on first down. The quick throw and bobbled Jared Cornelius. He's their number 1 receiver. Didn't play much at all coming off an injury, and he's 0 for 1 today. The rest of the Arkansas starting lineup, they got a great one at a very important spot in senior Frank Ragnow. On his way maybe to the Remington Trophy as the best center in college football.
And I think Arkansas should be happy he came back for another year, considering he's lined up right next to a true freshman.
Good to have. Yeah, and Ty Clary. Now it's Willie. Didn't get much. Maybe picked up 3. Nico Small, the guy that made the stop as we take a look at the Horned Frogs. Defensively, Ty Summers and Traven Howard, 2 great linebackers. Howard led the Big 12 in tackles last year with 130. So the first third down of week 2 for the Razorbacks. They went 7 out of 10 a week ago against FAMU, but that was against Florida A&M. No offense to them. This is a little different group when you're looking at the TCU defense. Third down and 7. Allen getting some pressure from behind. The ball is out. I think his arm was going forward, but they're scrambling for it right now to make sure. TCU thinks they have the football.
I think it was Ben Meneghu, number 15. Just a 3-man rush coming from the outside and knocks it out of his hand. Gary Patterson has to be delighted rushing 3 men and able to get a sack and a fumble on the second pass of the day.
Wow, and you get a second look at a close-up there. Luckily, Austin Allen kept his arm moving forward. That was really close to being a fumble. And now it's a punting situation for Blake Johnson in his own end zone. And Kevontae Turpin is a dangerous return man, one of the best in the Big 12. He stands back at the 50. He's going to have to fair catch this one, but great field position. TCU takes over at the Razorbacks' 45-yard line. Not exactly the start Arkansas was looking for. So let's take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for the guys in white and purple. We've talked about them already, but Kenny Hill has had some brilliant moments, and as Gary said, he kind of likes looking across the field at Arkansas. 1-1. That the win was when he was at Texas A&M, and the loss was a double overtime a year ago. But big numbers in those 2 games. And a great spot for Kenny to start his offense at the Arkansas 45. Kyle Hicks nowhere to be found right now. It's an empty backfield. And a throw, nice quick slant to Desmond White. TCU, the rest of their offense looks like this. Kyle Hicks, who did not play last year, actually was their leading rusher and receiver a season ago. That doesn't happen in too many offenses. Second down and 2, and Hicks is in there with Kenny. They fake it to him. They flip it out in the flat to White again, and White got out of the grasp of the first tackler, and he's got a first down at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and that's one of those modern-day RPOs as TCU dials it up, especially after a first down.
High snap, but they get it to Hicks, and he has to work his way to the 25-yard line as you look at the rest of the Arkansas defense. They've got a freshman out there playing corner in Cameron Curl because Ryan Pulley suffered a season-ending injury a week ago, and he was one of their leaders on defense. By the way, on that pass by Austin Allen, it was ruled a fumble but recovered by the Razorbacks. So indeed, his arm might have been going through, but the ball was already out. Just wanted to clarify that. Second down and 6. Hill rolls to throw, fires, got his man in and out of his hands though. Great play as Desmond White was the intended receiver and Ramirez ripped it out of their gear.
Yeah, and it was actually a rocket throw against the zone and throws it, and at the last second Ramirez gets his left hand out there and then pries it loose. Everyone did their job on that one, just Ramirez did it just a shade better.
Captain of the defense, Ramirez, with a big play, and it forces a third down and 6, and the crowd comes to life for the Razorbacks defense. Kenny Hill trying to relay a message to his offensive line. Flares it out to Hicks. Can he get away from the Arkansas defense? Yes, he can. And he's inside the 10. It's first and goal.
That was a called screen all the way that time. You saw the offensive lineman come out late. They were going to get the ball. This was a little bit of window dressing and then a screen pass. Perfect call. And that's speed from the backfield. No matter where they hit it, it's noticeable right away.
Yeah, he got 18 yards in a hurry. Down to the 7. First and goal. 2 tight ends set right now for TCU. You won't see that a lot. You'll see a lot of 4 wideouts. Jet sweep here. Turpin trying to weave his way down around the 5. You take a look at the Verizon Red Zone. TCU last year, touchdown percentage 55%. They've got second and goal here from the 5. As they line up in a hurry, you're not going to see a huddle out of these guys for the most part today.
They do substitute a little bit more than people think, and Arkansas is going to try to match substitutes, but so far it's been full speed ahead.
This is all Kenny Hill. Down around the 1 with his helmet coming off. And Hill's going to have to go out. Kind of changes things at the 1-yard line.
Well, they got a pretty good runner as a backup. Sean Robinson, a true freshman. Helmet comes off, got to go out one play. TCU could save it with a timeout, but they say, no, Sean can handle this.
Well, like you said, Sean can handle it. He had 3 carries for 43 yards last week in his duty, but he goes out, spread to the top of the screen right now. Looks like they're going to wild snap it.
Yeah, anybody can go out there and stand out there, I think, right?
Olanalua might be the guy that's going to take the snap here, and now Arkansas is changing up.
Wildcat right there.
He's just dancing in place right now.
Ness, I could still do this. Just stand out there as a wide receiver.
There's where the football is. 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. And Shewo Olanalua is apparently the guy that's going to get the call right here, number 33. They've got a pocket for him, that's for sure. And he walks in. Nobody touched him. Olanalua for the touchdown.
Boy, that's cold water in the face of Arkansas, who feels they're the more physical team. And what happens here, they just line up and blow them off the line of scrimmage. A walk-in from the 1-yard line, and they rush 3 against the Arkansas offense and get a sack, and then they jam it down your throat. That's cold water in the face.
Sure is. Extra point. Jonathan Song, who was 8 for 8 extra points a week ago, and he's got it right down the middle. That was pretty easy. TCU on the board already. 8 plays, 45 yards. Olanalua, 1-yard touchdown run. 7-0 Frogs. Coming up tomorrow, NFL on CBS. Going to kick things off. Oakland at Tennessee. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo going to be in that one. Tony in the booth for the first time for real. You see the other games, Indianapolis and the Rams in the 4 o'clock game. It all starts with the NFL Today season premiere presented by Southwest Airlines. JB looks good, doesn't he?
I was wondering who that was.
I know, me too. JB and the guys tomorrow.
Well, we'll show you what Gary Patterson was upset with here. First part, he's really happy with this. Okay, Olanalua can do the next part. He jumped up, but then the rehearse celebration. You put 15 yards as a possibility, and he got an earful when he got to the bench.
Yep.
First from Sonny Cumbie, and then from the head coach.
More so from the head coach. Gary in his 17th year as a head coach, his 20th year all-time at TCU. They got a 7-0 lead here early. Deion Stewart is going to take a knee this time, and it'll be better field position because on the first kickoff return, they had the holding call.
There's nothing worse as a quarterback, Ness, when you run your first pass play, you get a drop, and then on 3rd down, they only rush 3, and you get a sack.
Yeah.
You start peeking around going, what? Oh, holy cow.
Well, you know, the thing they talked about with Austin Allen at times last year, at times brilliant, at times he kind of saw the shadows of the rush.
Well, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's only 3 shadows and they get you, that's the big problem.
Well, this time he gets to work from the 25.
If Arkansas can't run the ball, it's going to be maybe a long day. They're going out and balanced here.
David Williams right now, the grad transfer from South Carolina in the backfield. He'll get the pitch. He had a couple of touchdown runs last week, and he's got a good tough run of almost 5 yards here. Then Batagu made the stop.
Talking to Dan Enos, he felt part of the game plan that Arkansas had to do was run at the 2 smaller corners for TCU. Both of them go 170, 175 pounds. They're built more for the Big 12 pass-happy league. He wants to run the edge.
2nd down, a long 5. Play action for Allen. Steps up in the pocket and goes deep. And overshoots everybody. Intended receiver was Deion Stewart. Good coverage. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Riley Williams, who would have been their starter at tailback, a missing piece for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's now kind of helping out as a coach on the sideline. Retired from football after a neck injury. Actually came back from a neck injury and played again. Right. And then got hurt again in spring practice. And we wish him the best in the future because he just had to hang it up. There was no sense in continuing, and the possibility of a career life-threatening injury. So they miss him, but they've got good backs. And Debois Whaley, Chase Hayden, the freshman, will see him as we go along. And right now it's Williams, as I said, in there with Austin Allen. 3rd down and 5. Short throw, nice catch.
Yeah, they're going to get interference. So that left hand hooked him.
Cheyenne O'Grady made a great catch, and as Gary said, flagged down.
Perfect throw. Wasn't a lot of space to put it, as you can see. He grabbed him with that left hand. Elbow was down, but either way, it's going to be a 1st down.
They're hoping for big things from O'Grady, Jeremy Patton. Austin Cantrell's their starting tight end. Here's a call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 19.
Yeah.
The penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
Well, that's what Austin Allen can do, though. If one thing he brings to the table is his confidence, and more importantly, the coaching staff's confidence that he'll attack the middle of the field. A lot of coaches in college are a little bit nervous about letting their quarterback throw in the middle. If you're brave enough to do it, there's matchups to take advantage of.
So 1st down at the 35. And it's Williams straight up the middle. Big run and 9-yard pickup. Williams, the biggest guy they have in the backfield at 230, and he used all of it there.
Nobody touched Williams till he got about 5 yards downfield. Kind of a draw isolation play, and right at the end of the play, he lands on Deion Stewart's ankle, and Deion Stewart limps off.
This friendly fire getting rolled up by your own tailback, who got 9 yards, 2nd down and 1. We'll check on Stewart when we can. Williams again, both hands around the football, and he's just taking Frogs with him for a ride into TCU territory. 1st down.
When we talk about RW3 and not having him, has made an opportunity for David Williams, and he's been a surprise and a little bit of a delight for this football team, giving them the tough yards inside.
He was a pretty good back at South Carolina.
Yes.
There's just thoughts that maybe he didn't get along with Will Muschamp that well, whatever, but he's ended up here, and it's turned out beautifully.
Who can't get along with Will Muschamp? Come on.
I knew that was coming. 1st down at the 49. Already 3 carries and a couple of 1st downs for Williams. It's Debois Whaley in there now. They fake the pitch on a
wide open.
And down the middle, wide open. This will be an Arkansas touchdown. Jonathan Nance. "49 yards, and we're a point away from an even game."
If you're a safety, your first job is to play it safe. That's why they call you a safety. And in this situation, watch the safety take a step up, and boom, he's by Nico Small, and it's an easy pitch and catch and a big play. And it's not like TCU wasn't ready for that. Play action crossing routes, that's all they practiced.
Cole Headland with a point after, up and good.
What happens when you run the ball up the middle for 4, 9, and 7? You're going to get the play action pass.
And you talk about a way to come back from being in a 7-0 hole in a hurry. 75 yards in 6 plays. I was wondering if Nance gave a throat slash thing. He did the arm cross there, and then that sure looked like it to me.
I think Kenny Hill thinks it looks like one, doesn't he?
Kenny got one of those last year in this game.
TCU people are saying it looks like one for sure.
Either way, we're tied at 7. (7-7) with 8:15 remaining in the 1st quarter, and he's still doing it on the sideline, saying, "I swear I didn't give it throat."
Yeah, well,
I'm not so sure, Jonathan.
The official right there let it go, and Michael Smith, the wide receiver coach, goes,
"Don't do that," is just what he said.
Nice route, but don't do that. You're right. Got away with it, though, didn't he?
He did. Arkansas is lucky they're not kicking from the 20-yard line. As it is, Connor Limpert will kick off. Devontae Turpin and Sean Nixon wait back deep. This one should be returnable. Turpin from about the 4. Devontae following his blockers. Here he goes.
And
great return.
Acceleration.
He's got another gear, doesn't he? 37-yard kickoff return.
Sean Nixon, I think number 3, was the guy, the other up back that gets the key block on the play. But watch Turpin as he gets that last block right there. Cutback. Ooh, that little speed, a little step.
Well, if he'd had enough touches last year, he would have led the Big 12 in returns. He's a preseason all Big 12 return specialist, and I guess we know why now, don't we? Great field position again. Remember last time they started at the Arkansas 45. Now they're at their own 40. They'll take that. Hicks with Hill in the backfield, but it's passed all the way out to Hicks in the flat. That's good pursuit by Arkansas, only about a yard gain. And it was Kevin Richardson, the captain, back there, former walk-on, voted one of the captains that made the stop. Quickly they go. The 2nd down and 9. He takes it away from Hicks, slips and falls, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 12. TJ Smith was there to make sure Kenny Hill didn't get away.
Little different look for this Arkansas defense with Paul Rhodes taking over. When you watch the tape from a year ago, couldn't tell you how many times they misaligned with their front four. Much more simplified. They're lining up correctly no matter how fast TCU goes in this game.
A squadron of receivers.
There's Paul. And he's got a lot of experience with this offense being in the Big 12.
Absolutely. Former head coach at Iowa State. Hill pump fakes once. Plenty of time. And that fires down the middle, and he overshot everybody. I think maybe Desmond White was the intended receiver. It's 4th down.
It was a stutter to the left side that time that they tried to set up right there. There's the jam right there. That's where the ball was supposed to go. Got away with that time, and they were going right after the corner. No good defense, no 1st down.
Adam Nunez to punt. And he's trying to get everybody out of the way here. This one's going out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
See where they spot it. About the 34-yard line. And that'll be Arkansas' spot to start 1st down. Arkansas, good job defensively on that series. Forced a 3rd down and the punt. They've got the ball back in a moment. You get the CBS Sports app for the fastest scores and inside access to TCU, Arkansas, or wherever your favorite team might be. Download the CBS Sports app today. Let's check in with Allie.
Brad, Arkansas wide receiver Deion Stewart just came out of the athletic training tent. He's warming up right behind me. He's working on his burst. He was doing high knees. They were seeing how explosive he was coming out of his stance. The team told me he's 50-50, but he looks pretty good as he's warming up. I'll let you know as I know more.
I hope he can get back in there. Made his first career start a week ago in the Florida A&M game, so hopefully he'll get back out there.
Yeah, and especially that position for Arkansas. You know, they graduated 4 senior wide receivers and a tight end.
Yeah.
Had caught 168 balls. So you got a lot of young guys, and they don't need them to lose any of them.
Well, they had Keon Hatcher and Drew Morgan, who are 2 of the most dependable receivers in the conference a year ago. From the 34, here's the freshman Chase Hayden. Well, he had a big game last week, but not a big first carry. Isahaku came up from the corner to make the stop.
Well, they're going to run the ball at the corners. Isahaku does a good job that time. Come from the right side of your screen, gets in there, or the left side of your screen, excuse me, on the cutback. And that's one of the things you have to do from the backside is be aware of the cutback. That's what this Arkansas offensive line tries to do. Build the wall and allow the running back to go anywhere he wants.
2nd down and 11. Here's a handoff on a sweep. After the 35 is Hayden, and that's it. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and long. So we got maybe 3 of what he lost back.
Yeah, Traven Howard, that I'm number 32, showed you why he led the Big 12 in tackles. He was just as fast. One thing Gary Patterson told us about his linebackers, right, Brad? They're all under 4'5".
Yeah.
He showed it right there.
They can really move in that second wave in this 4-2-5 type of defense.
You run under 4'4", you're a corner. 4'5", you're a linebacker. Otherwise, you move up. Keep moving up. Defensive line.
Unless you're in the NFL, then you might be a defensive lineman. 3rd down and 9. Austin Allen in the gun. Steps up, fires on the run, and threw underneath Jeremy Patton was the intended receiver. It's going to be 4th down. Let's check what's happening around college football. Adam Zucker with a AT&T Field Pass update.
All right, thank you, Brad. We love our trophy games in college football. Iowa and Iowa State for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa gets the touchdown in overtime after Iowa State got the field goal, and they take the Cy-Hawk and move to 2-0. Back to you.
All right, Zuck, thank you. Punting situation for the Hogs. Blake Johnson to kick. And again, it's Devontae Turpin who waits back around the 25-yard line. Nice high kick. He's going to have to fair catch this one, too. Arkansas punters doing a nice job keeping number 25 at least out of the picture as a punt returner. 5:17 remaining first quarter. Horned Frogs on offense when we come back. Well, from the brains behind The Big Bang Theory comes a new comedy, Young Sheldon. Series premiere Monday, September 25th, after The Big Bang Theory. Only CBS. Check in with Allie LaForce. Allie.
Brad and Gary, something to look out for. After that opening drive, there was a lot of miscommunication, a lot of frustration on that Arkansas defensive line, to the point where TJ Smith had to come over and just settle everyone down. We found out what it was. It turns out that McKelvin Agim is having problems hearing the call, so they were going over different ways to signal it. Working on that on the bench, Paul Rhodes came over and said, everybody just keep doing their job. Don't give up until we get him on the ground.
Well, they want Sosa to hear everything. He's probably their best defensive lineman, one of the better ones for a young guy right there on the left side of your screen. In the SEC. First down, Kenny Hill going to hand it off. And this time it's Darius Anderson on the carry. And Anderson got out to the 29. Nice run. DeAndre Cole made the tackle.
No subs, so they'll go fast.
It's nice to get 7 on first down. And that's why the tempo offense works, and it's working right now. First down run by Anderson. And they'll get up to the line again in a hurry. If they substitute, for the most part, Arkansas is going to substitute those defensive linemen that Allie was just talking about.
Remember, this is a Big 12 crew, and they handle it every week, and I think they're just a shade quicker than the SEC officials.
They have to do it every week. You're right. Here's a throw. And another nice gain out to the 40 to John Garce.
And, of course, TCU's offensive coordinator doing the whole thing that Sonny Cumbie grew up in it, basically, playing quarterback. Yep.
Now in a pistol set. Play action. Hill wants a big one. Down the middle. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Santos Ramirez. Coming the other way. Flags are down, but a big play by the Arkansas defense.
Well, I got to tell you, I watched this. I thought he was open. I thought it was a bad finish of his route in the middle of the field.
During the return, holding number 1 of the intercepting team. 10-yard penalty. Arkansas keeps the ball. First down.
Garrett, for the second time, though, great defensive play in the secondary.
Yes, watch how open the receiver is as he goes off. Now stop it right there, okay? If he'd have cut across straight, I think he has it. But watch how he fades on the play. When he fades, you're able to cut underneath the ball and make the interception. Not a great throw, I'll tell you. But the receiver did not help it. Devontae Turpin really fast, but not a disciplined route.
That was a 50-50 ball that goes Arkansas's way.
And, of course, the hold obviously was on the return, so it's Arkansas's ball.
Still nice field position, though, their own 42-yard line as we approach the 4-minute mark of the quarter in a tie game. Devois Whaley. Tell you what, other than David Williams, the sledding's been pretty tough for the Arkansas running backs.
Yeah, and how about Ramirez, Brad? I mean, 2 big plays already in this game.
Yeah.
He knocks down the pass earlier and comes up with a great 50-50 ball, and he grabbed it that time.
He had 5 tackles and a pass broken up a year ago in the double overtime game, and he's already got 2 huge plays in the first quarter.
That's L.J. Collier that made the play right there. He's going to say more defensive end in this game because of the running attack. He usually plays defensive tackle and end. Today he'll be featured more as an end.
2 tight ends, high backfield, and it's still a pass. And it's Allen, and he got it out to his tight end, Patton, on the run. And he blasts through the sideline at about the 25-yard line. First down.
David Whaley here, number 21, the running back, saves this play. It was a corner blitz. Watch him take on the blitz right here. That's what gives the time for Austin Allen to make the throw. Takes it on, doesn't have to be pretty, enough to allow the tight end to get there and make the positive play. You'll love it. Your tailback picks up the corner blitz.
First down, quick throw out in the flats. Trying to make a man misses. Jared Cornelius got a couple of yards. You know, that play by Patton, talking with Brett Bielema on the field, you and I on Thursday, I said, do you have a big-time wide tight end like you used to have? Remember they had DJ Williams, Travis Henry, both won the Mackey Award. They had Jeremy Sprinkle last year, so they've had a nice run of tight ends. And they think this kid, who's a junior college transfer, just got here in the summer.
Yeah, A.J. Derby, Hunter Henry, Jeremy Sprinkle, yeah.
Yep.
And Patton, who did not get here in the spring because of his transfer rules as a junior college player, is just now learning the offense.
The other tight end, Austin Cantrell, set up as the blocker on the right side. We just did it.
It's always something, you know.
Second down.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. We tried. We really did. Makes a good play. Coming in, learning the offense. Snap count, snap count, snap count.
Coach, I did everything except that. So that'll back them up to the 31-yard line. Second down and 13. They put themselves behind the chains a couple times in this drive and once in the last drive. They fake it to Whaley. And now they're going to throw it out in the flat to the other tight end, O'Grady. And O'Grady on a rumble down inside of 15. And a first down, Arkansas.
Well, the All-American center for Arkansas is Frank Ragnow. Brad talked about him. Watch on this play. Sets it up with the block, throws it away, gets out in the screen, and then fits the last block right there to spring him again. 2 blocks, big play. Extra credit, Brad, on that one.
Ragnow so good and so quick for a big guy. He runs with the tight ends and the linebackers at practice.
How can that be? He's from Minnesota. That's impossible.
They got a lot of fast guys, I'm telling you. First down at the 11-yard line. Nice cut back by Whaley, and he's to the 5.
Well, he just buried somebody quickly on that one, too. That time he gets Sammy Douglas, the inside linebacker. Watch the center get to the second level and just smother his guy. Sammy Douglas last year in the tape backdoored, meaning came behind blocks many times. He didn't come from behind on that block.
Made him look like Sammy Davis Jr. on that one. The 5-yard line, second down at 4. They can get a first down, Arkansas, right at the 1. Whaley, the single setback. Nance, the motion man. And it's all Whaley, but it's all TCU defense. Great job. Banagoo was there. So was Nico Small from the secondary.
Again, very aggressive. Is when you talk to Gary Patterson about his defense, he says we play defense like other people play offense, meaning we call plays to their offense. We run their tendencies. Certain formations we will attack. Certain formations will go to zone. On that one, they attacked it perfectly.
In the red zone, Austin Allen was great a year ago. 19 touchdown passes, led the SEC. Trips to the top of the screen, and now they bring a motion man into the slot. They're going to roll Austin Allen that way to give him an option. Waiting till the last moment. He's got to throw it away.
Yep, great coverage.
Rico Evans was the guy that applied some pressure.
There's a Haku number 31, did a good job, Ridwan. Both of them matched up, played physical to the outside, had a 2-man route to the outside, and both of the TCU corners did a good job of smothering receiver.
That's the end of the first quarter. A fourth down is coming up. We'll return to Fayetteville after this message and a word from your local station. Tie game in Fayetteville. Tie game as we start the second quarter, and Arkansas about to attempt a field goal. Cole Hegland, who's 9 out of 15 a year ago, hasn't tried one yet this year. It was all extra points last week, and he'll try from 23 yards away. And a kick is no good. Well, they had kicking problems a year ago, and they pick up right where they left off, and that will make a coach do that.
That's exactly right.
That was a chip shot.
Yeah, it's basically an NFL extra point or less than.
Just past the left upright, no good, so an opportunity for Arkansas to lead. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Alley's on the field. Good first quarter, you take that play away. The second quarter hadn't started great.
You know, the way Arkansas started, I thought they recovered well. Dan Enos found a little bit of a running game, not a lot,
right,
and then went to the play action pass, no big surprise. But this game is really highly competitive. Both the secondaries have impressed me.
Right.
The guys out there are fighting every throw, contesting every throw. It's the only chance you got nowadays in modern football.
David Williams has been the best tailback so far, and the two tight ends for Arkansas have certainly helped their cause. But now it's Kenny Hill's turn again for TCU from the 20 after the missed field goal. And they're going to go straight up the middle to Hicks, who got about 3, maybe 4.
You know, I really think long-term, as good as they may think Kenny Hill has improved and has his confidence and he's going to have a great senior year, if they can't help him with some more running game, I just don't see how long-term Kenny's going to give them where they want to go.
Hicks had over 1,000 last year, but still not what some teams have in that capacity. Here he is, and he follows his Broncos well. Going to be a couple yards shy. We'll say 1 yard shy of the first down. Well, all of you that are in the path of Hurricane Irma, we certainly hope that wherever you are, you're safe. This is what's happened because of the storm this week with canceled games. But more importantly, and my partner's home is right in the line of the eye of the hurricane, and I thank you, Gary, for being here. I know Christy and the whole gang is bunkered down back home, or hunkered down back home, and hopefully everybody's okay. Third down and a yard. And it's a first down run by Hicks. And with TCU in here from Fort Worth, we wish the best to all the people in Texas, too, who are just trying to get over that hurricane. And we got Jose, I guess, behind Irma. It's been a heck of a 2 weeks of weather.
We were hoping to talk hurricane football, not hurricanes.
Exactly. Nice run this time by Hicks.
Very patient, saved his speed until he needed it. The big offensive line, you know, TCU gets stereotyped as small. Well, they're not small in the offensive line. They're pretty stout up there, and he just kind of mashed that time, and Hicks just patiently waited, and made a big play out of it.
Yeah, Gary said to us last night, we had 322 and 340 at the tackles and 358 at the guard. What do you want from us as far as size? Second down and 3. Hicks again right there with Hill in the backfield. He'll get another carry. That was not Hicks, it was Anderson, I beg your pardon, and he's got a first down out to the 49-yard line.
Well, going fast is good when it works, but running the ball and going fast is beautiful. And I know Gary Patterson still has that defensive mentality of when he moves the chains and runs the ball a little bit, eventually that passing game will open up.
First down at the 49, and they're working Anderson, and he's working that Arkansas defense. Another good run inside the 45 to the 44-yard line.
Well, that's the shocking thing for a Brett Bielema defense. Last year, this Arkansas defense ranked 94th in college football in rush defense.
They gave up 206 yards a game, and then they lost 3 of their top 4 tacklers. That never helps. Some of those numbers were inflated by the Auburn game. They gave up 543.
That was a bruising game for everybody.
Second down to 3. Anderson, he's going to be close. About a half yard shy, maybe. Again, Arkansas missing one of their big playmakers. Brian Pulley suffered a season-ending injury. His right pectoral happened in the second quarter of the Arkansas game against Florida A&M. Florida A&M last week in their win, and he's out for the year, and he was one of their leaders.
Well, Sonny Cumbie loves to throw the balls. We talked about he grew up under Mike Leach, but now Mike Leach is calling in and go, who are you? Just ran the ball 8 straight plays.
We talked about the morphing of Mike Leach and how many guys that he's had an influence on in that passing game. And really what they always said is make the routine plays.
Right.
You don't have to be fancy all the time. Just make the catch when it's thrown to you. First down at the 40. Hill. Oh, that one That's a routine play. And Desmond White dropped it.
It's exactly what Sonny Cumbie said, and it came right for Mike Leach. Master the boring. Here's the boring. A curl route. Everybody gets so excited about doing all these fancy things. But that time the slot just went right down the middle, hooked up, and dropped it.
8 runs on this drive so far, though. That was the first pass. Second down at 10. They fake it to Anderson. Hill going to throw it to the other guy that came out of the backfield. And that was Kennedy Snell, the true freshman, who the first time he touched it a week ago was kind of lightning in a bottle.
For sure. 3 million lightning shots, I heard, right?
I guess his touchdown run, 3 million social hits.
He ran like, what, 75 yards to gain 10?
Yeah, something like that. And Kevin Richardson is the guy that's shaken up. And he has had to battle back from injuries, missed all last year, and still he's been voted a captain by his teammates. That's how much they think of him. And hopefully he's going to be okay. We'll check on him with 10:45 remaining in the half when we come back.
Adam Zucker in New York with this Ford update. #1 Alabama missing 4 linebackers this week, facing a different FSU. Jalen Hurts, his second rushing touchdown of the day. Also has another one in the air. It's 21-3 on top of Fresno State right now. Tied on top as we go back to Brad, Gary, and Allie.
Thanks, Adam. 7-7 here as we take a look at the last play. Kevin Richardson.
His ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. See the line right there, the blue line. Kenny Hill throws it to Kennedy Snell, but downfield the block is made legally because the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, and that's where Kevin got hurt, number 30.
And he's in the Arkansas tent. 11th play of the drive coming up. Started at their own 20 after that missed field goal, remember?
Have to assume it's 4-down territory here.
They got 4 wideouts to the right of Kenny Hill, and he fakes it that way. He's going to run it himself for the first down and more.
Didn't need it. 4 downs, did they?
No.
Kenny Hill hurt him with his legs last year. Critical plays. They didn't design a lot of runs for him, but when they needed a big play, they took advantage of what he could do.
That was a well-designed play, and having all those wideouts out there, and you thought for sure, at least I did, that they were going that way with the pass.
A lot more veterans on both offensive line, but the TCU offensive line is really showing in this game that they can stand up to the defensive line for Arkansas.
First down at the 26 at the 10-minute mark. Anderson got a couple, maybe 3 actually, popped out the backside. Gets it down to the 23-yard line. Anderson had 67 yards and a career-high 13 carries in their opener last week as they had a cakewalk. They didn't have to play many of their starters. Most of their starters played about 28, 29 plays last week in the lopsided win to start their season. 2nd and 7. Play action, throw out in the flat. Here's the guy that scored the only TCU touchdown and a flag down. Olanalua run out of bounds, but a penalty marker on the play.
Yeah, Sean Nixon, actually the same play they ran on the injury to Kevin Richardson. Instead of going left, they go right, and Sean Nixon, number 3, grabs and is going to get a holding call. Same exact play going to the right.
Again, our referee.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 3. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Reggie Smith, our referee from the Big 12, his crew. And there's the push right there.
Josh Liddell knew it right away, looked at the official and said, you got it right.
So that changes the complexion of this drive a little bit. They were doing just about anything they wanted until that penalty backs them up to the 34-yard line. And 2nd down and 17 is a completely different animal.
Let's see if Randy Ramsey, number 9, can make a difference here. Number 10, excuse me.
Had a sack last week in the opener. He's going to backpedal, though, and Hill's going to run it again. Cuts to the far side, got a little bit of a block from his wide receiver. It's still going to bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, but that's successful.
Yeah. Got
half of it back, put him in position. If they want to go, 4 downs here, they can, or they can think field goal. Arkansas is being very disciplined. Anytime the Horned Frogs substitute, Arkansas substitutes a nose tackle.
Well, Lula got to walk out in a second and bring in an extra wide receiver because they were so close to the TCU sideline. He's the guy in the slot to the right. That's number 10, Desmond White. He just kind of snuck in there after Lula went to the sideline. They exchange a big guy for a little guy on 3rd and 10. Hill all day to throw. Wide open. Man inside the 10. And the ball is out. Did it go out of bounds, though?
It did. Before it was recovered, I think it went out of bounds.
At the 4-yard line, 1st and goal, it was Sean Nixon that made the catch.
He bobbled the catch to begin with. And then I think Ramirez is the one that knocks it out again.
Boy, one more foot over there, and Arkansas would have another turnover. It was. What a great game Ramirez is having as far as poking the ball out or intercepting it, but that one took a funny hop out at the 4-yard line.
And then by the time it's corralled, he's standing out of bounds.
Yep. So 1st and goal.
How about that pickup for TCU, though? 2 plays.
And this one's a walk-in again. This time Kyle Hicks from 4 yards out. Touchdown TCU.
Well, I came here thinking that if Arkansas was going to win the game, they would try to run the ball up the middle. I really didn't think it would be TCU running the ball up the middle.
And again, like the earlier touchdown, basically, one guy got a hand on it, but it was too late.
And the last time it was out of the Wildcat. This time it wasn't. It was the same play in reality.
Jonathan Song in for the point after. And he's 10 for 10 on extra points through 2 weeks. Well, an 80-yard drive after, remember, the missed field goal. And it goes the other way. Hicks from 4 yards out, 14-7 TCU. And now do Project Smarter, presented by Home Depot. Here.
Well, you run the quarterback draw. Watch Kyle Hicks here. Started off on the quarterback draw with a good block. Remember that. If you block well, you might get the ball later. 2nd and 20, you pick up 10. Then Kenny Hicks finds Sean Nixon. Good protection. Just a 3-man rush. You get the drag pass to the outside. Wide open. Almost fumbles it away, but no. And then who gets the ball to finish it off?
Kyle Hicks.
Earn it. A great finish. Arkansas had TCU where they wanted them and could not put them away. Who would have thunk it? 80 yards rushing so far.
Kyle Hicks, for him, his 16th rushing touchdown of his TCU career. With Deion Stewart out with that injury, here's a pooch kick. And it's going to be a fair catch at the 29-yard line by one of the up men.
All right, Brad, close your eyes here 1 second, all right? You got 15 plays, 80 yards, 7 minutes. Who ran it?
Arkansas, you would think.
Yeah.
Confident on the field and in the classroom. Here's today's Scholar Athletes, presented by Quicken Loans. A couple of centers, a couple really good ones. Patrick Morris for TCU, Frank Ragnow for Arkansas. Quicken Loans, commitment to the investment of our futures, shown today by donating $1,000 to TCU and Arkansas's General Scholarship Fund. Not only good students, good guys, really good centers. 1st down at the 30. David Williams back in at tailback for the Razorbacks. They fake it to him. Austin Allen scans the field. Still looking and throwing it over to the TCU bench. Well, obviously good coverage by TCU. Had a long time flag down. They might have a holding after it took that long.
Anthony Tejada, the bottom quarterback corner, made a great play. They tried to double move Tejada to the bottom of the field, and he jammed it. Watch down here. They're going to try to go in and then out.
Holding. Defense, number 11.
No, the holding's on the defense.
Automatic 1st down.
Oh, he jams him. Then I guess he held him late because he did a perfect job early.
I think the holding is on Jared Cornelius over on the near side, I think.
Fine, because if they called it on 11, I didn't going to throw a flag on the flag.
It's a 1st down for Arkansas at the 40. Now they got a fullback in there. They haven't had much of that. Kendrick Jackson.
They can't get to the edge. They're trying to, and they can't get outside of him.
Cantrell, the tight end, goes from one side to the other. And Williams blasted up on the inside, but Ben Bonagou has had a good game.
Dan Enos is looking at what the TCU team holding the clock a little bit, scoring points. He's going to have to recalibrate. He thought he could come in the game and overpower him a little bit, play hog football, but it's the Horned Frogs that are playing hog football right now. They're hogging the ball.
He's second down and 9. As you look behind Austin Allen. And again in the shotgun, and now they'll clear out everybody but David Williams, and the throw's going to be out in the flat, and it's too far in front of T.J. Hammonds. Dan Enos, the offensive coordinator, former head coach in the MAC. And not only has he had some prestige in his life, but he has won the Gary Danielson Award back when he was a high school player in Michigan. Look at some of these guys. Pat Shermer, offensive coordinator for the Vikings.
Sean LaFontaine. I don't know who that is, but he went to Divine Child in my high school. I had to give him some.
That's a good-looking trophy.
I think it's for being able to talk off the cuff really well.
Best player in Dearborn, Michigan. Third down and 9.
Danny went to Edsel Ford, played at Michigan State. I did one of his games when he was at Michigan State in 1990. That was before me and you, Brad.
That's right. He even said to you, I got to get a picture with you yesterday after our meeting. Austin Allen just can't find anybody.
Oh, is he going to get hit?
He got whacked.
I'm surprised he held on to the ball.
Ennis Gaines made the final hit, but Austin Allen's going to feel that one tomorrow.
I thought Montrell Wilson, number 19, almost put him out.
There's nobody open back there.
No, there is not.
Now watch this.
Montrell Wilson and then Ennis Gaines almost, boy, the combination of the two, you surprised that ball didn't pop out?
Absolutely. Did a great job to hold on to it.
Yeah, Ennis Gaines, it was almost like they set him up and put him out there.
So Blake Johnson's got to kick it again. Done a nice job not letting Cavante Turpin return these. This one's going to make it all the way to the end zone. Hit it too far.
Yeah, smart play by Turpin. Did not retreat, didn't take the ball, and they get it at the 20.
58-yard punt, but it's coming out with 5:53 remaining. Horned Frogs defense fired up, and their offense has got it back with a touchdown lead when we return.
Adam Zucker, New York, with this check on the Vols. John Kelly's got some help in the Tennessee backfield this week. Carlin Philzame going in. 14-0 Tennessee over Indiana State as they start the second quarter. Trying to avoid some drama this week as we go back to Brad, Gary, and Allie.
All right, Adam, thanks. Touchdown lead here for TCU as we check in with Allie.
I checked in on Kevin Richardson, and he's back on the field. He was okay from the cut block, but I found out that after TCU scored its very first touchdown, he threw up twice in the end zone to the point where the official asked Coach Bielema to sub him out and make sure he was okay. Also, Sammy Douglas, TCU's linebacker, is dealing with the right ankle injury. They taped it back up, but he hasn't been able to do anything more than just walk on it to this point.
All right, great. Thanks, Allie. TCU with the ball now, a touchdown lead to play with. Hill throws out in the flat, pickup of 6 out to Dylan Thomas.
Yeah, but looks like holding on the backside again, just a 3-man rush. Arkansas content to play coverage.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Offense number 51. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Austin Schlottman, the left guard, with a hands to the face penalty.
21 seniors for Gary Patterson's team. Schlottman is one of them, all Big 12 preseason football player. Did not give up a sack last year and over 800 snaps.
Yep. And he and on the other side, Ragnow, been playing football forever, and they've never given up a sack.
Jeez.
But that time it was one to the chin that cost him, and it backs it up to the 10-yard line.
I think the most impressive part of this football game so far for me has been the TCU offensive line.
Yeah. We said the smallest guy up there is the center, Patrick Morris, who's one of our scholar athletes, and he's a 300-pounder. First and 20 as Kenny Hill has to stand inside his own 5 in the shotgun. Retreats to his own goal line. Getting some heat, got rid of it at the last second and just overshot his intended receiver, and that was Jalen Rager, and he'd have been off to the races.
Yeah. You know, Brad, when Kenny threw this ball. He threw it, back it up off his back foot. And I was watching him really closely, and I was going, boy, he better complete this one, because if he doesn't, there's going to be an upset head coach. Watch him back up, throw it off his back foot, and gets away with it. John Jackson, number 78, put the pressure on, but he had him wide open.
Late over the middle when your backpedal is not good.
I know.
Second down and 20. Kyle Hicks will try to pick up some of it, but he's going to lose another one.
And this is really important for this. That penalty was huge. Remember, the last time TCU had the ball, they held it for over 7 minutes. As the half winds down, remember, as you watch this, TCU would have got the ball in the second half. So this is a big stop for this Arkansas team, getting it back here if they can, with time to go in the second quarter.
Grant Morgan's the guy that made the play. His brother Drew was the great receiver that played here and made the Miami Dolphins squad this year. Crowd finally lightened it up a little bit because it's third down and 21. And whistles.
Yeah, Paul Rhodes called that one, the defensive coordinator. A lot of talking on the field. They weren't lined up right, and he could see it, and I think it was a great timeout.
There's Paul. Says, guys, just calm down. Come on over. Let's talk about it. We'll let Gary and Brad talk about it when we come back.
Adam Zucker in New York. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Rick, BJ, and I get you caught up on today's action, including Ole Miss quarterback Shea Patterson setting a single-game program record with 489 yards in the 45-23 win over UT Martin. Now back to TCU, Arkansas.
Our guys see you at halftime, 4 minutes, 39 seconds from now. TCU 6 out of 7 on their third down conversions, but they haven't had a third and 21 so far.
Yeah, and if you're Arkansas, you're depending on being a better zone defensive team. Now, here's a test. If you're going to be a good zone defensive team, you're not going to give up a first down in this situation. Let's see how aggressive Gary Patterson wants to be with a quarterback who's already turned one over.
They show the same formation that Hill ran on earlier with 4 wideouts to his right. And Kenny's all by himself in the TCU backfield. This time he sets to throw, and now he might run anyway. He's over the line of scrimmage, I think, and it's in and out of.
That's how you play zone defense.
Andre Tolliver.
Yep.
Wasn't he across the line of scrimmage? I thought he was.
Yes, he was. He got flagged, but I would have counted it as an interception.
Yeah.
We just talked, how aggressive would the head coach allow a quarterback who turns the ball over to throw, and it almost cost him.
Tolliver so close.
Not me. I would have called Brad's play on that one. Quarterback draw.
Well, then you got a better room to punt. But
There is no foul for an illegal forward pass. The ruling on the field is that the quarterback's back foot was still at the line of scrimmage. It's fourth down.
all right, Reggie.
So the call was, remember, it'd be a plane as if it was the goal line. So if his toe might be off the line, off in the air, it's still the line vertically. Boy, it was close,
that was
wasn't
really
it?
close.
Yep. No harm, no foul.
No,
though.
either way, it's a punt. So Nunez, though, deep in his own end zone. They got Jared Cornelius back for Arkansas. This one, a tallywagger. He'll have to take it right at midfield with a fair catch. So just what Gary said, Arkansas wants to get the ball back with 4:25 to go and a chance to maybe tie the game. Now, their missions are secret. Their courage is legendary. David Boreanaz stars in a new drama, SEAL Team. Series premieres Wednesday, September 27th, only CBS. Brad Nessler, Gary Anderson, Allie Force, and our CBS crew in Fayetteville on a beautiful day, sunny, 82 degrees at kick. And right now, TCU, the visitors, with a touchdown lead, but Austin Allen and the Razorbacks would like to change that here and even things up by halftime.
Every time you give the weather, I'm thinking I'd rather be living here today for the rest of my family.
I know, absolutely. Devois Whaley is the single setback. They're going to give it to him. They got maybe 3.
You know, as much as you might want to be that physical football team, as aggressive as the second level with the safeties and the linebackers are, you got to go play action pass. They're really committing both safeties to the run game. That's how they got the touchdown play before.
Well, between Nico Small and Nick Orr, they had About 170 tackles between them last year.
12 rushes for, what, 30-some yards, 32 yards?
Really, it's one of his better ones, but it's still going to be well short of a first down. They'll bring up third. Montreal Wilson made the stop.
Well, Ty Clary's lined up against the All-American. He's a freshman, number 66, middle of your screen right there. Let's see what happens.
Didn't get low enough.
No, and that might be one of the reasons right there. You know, in practice, when you're fitting guys and everybody's going half speed and you're making all the good assignments and you're looking the part, but these are men he's playing against. As we mentioned, this TCU team, 21 seniors. As Gary told us last night, we might be a little small in the defensive line, but they all squat over 700 pounds.
Third down at 4. Austin Allen in the gun. Here comes the extra heat. He's going to have to get rid of it, and he got it complete.
He did.
Jordan Jones in a first down, but we have a flag in the backfield. Probably going to be a holding. They sent the house that time defensively. Unless it's a late hit on the quarterback, that's possible too.
Well, we're from the flag where it came. Was it at the end? Oh yeah, hit him right in the head right there.
So that's going to be a big gainer if it's what we think it is, and certainly looks like it.
And Montreal Wilson, who had half that tackle before, get it again.
By both teams. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 19, low to the head. Pass interference, offense, number 44. The foul's offset. Repeat the down. Third down.
That's why I was saying from where the flag was thrown, because I saw the one down on the 32-yard line downfield, and I said, wait, that can't be a rough on the passer.
Here's the defensive penalty.
There's one. And downfield at the same time. Tight end goes downfield. Oh, I see. He blocked to get the guy open. Actually, a pick play on the play and allow it.
Well, it goes nowhere, and it's still third down at 4. We're right back where we started. Williams in the backfield. They give it to him on a counter. Not going to get there. And now Brett Bielema has got a decision to make. 4th down and 2 at the 42. He doesn't have a kicker that's anywhere near hitting that thing. So let's see if he goes for it. He's going to punt.
I'm surprised Gary Patterson isn't taking a timeout.
And the crowd booing right now. They wanted Arkansas to go for it.
He's got a lead. He's going to play it safe. He's on the road. And he's one of the winningest coaches of all time. Got to go with him, right?
Yep. Got a good punt return.
You didn't have to agree that fast.
Sure I did. You were right. That won't last, though. Keep that in mind. Blake Johnson, end over end punt. Let's see if they can down this one inside the 10. Right at the 5. Nice job by the special teams of Arkansas, and a good job by their punter, who has kept it out of the hands, basically, of Turpin today. 2 minutes, 12 seconds until we have the Geico halftime report. Adam, BJ, and Rick will be along. Show you some highlights. Again, Shea Patterson, as Adam told us a couple minutes ago, with a big game for Ole Miss. Tennessee had the lead the last time we looked, and all the other scores from earlier games. As we approach 5 o'clock in the East, 4 o'clock here in Fayetteville.
Well, I can tell you that right now, Brett Bielema's saying if they don't go aggressive and try to run out the clock, I'm going to burn 2 timeouts and get them to third down and see how brave they are.
Right now, he's got the opposition quarterback standing on his own goal line.
Who's thrown an interception and should have thrown 2.
He's in his own end zone. Hill waits, fires, complete out across the 10 to number 10. Desmond White out, maybe to the 12. You got to be careful in that situation, too, that you don't get a holding call in the end zone. Then you got a safety, but he got rid of it just in time. Gives him a little more room to work. Under 2 minutes, 2nd down and 3. Empty backfield. Jet sweep here, and it's Turpin, and he's got the corner in the first down and out across the 20. Good run.
So now with 1 first down, getting out there, you got to let him now loosen up the chains a little bit more. Check down on first, jet sweep, and now let's see what he does.
There's the numbers for Hill, including the interception Gary was talking about. Neither team has rushed it very well, although TCU's had the advantage, which we didn't expect. Hill's going to go deep down the right sideline and overshot his intended receiver, Jalen Austin. Good coverage back there defensively by Cameron Curl, the freshman that's in for Pulley, who got injured a week ago.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised they tested him, and so far twice in this game Cameron Curl has done a good job. Sonny Cumbie told us last night that he's young, we're going to attack him, but we did recruit him. We know he's a pretty good football player.
True freshman out of Muskogee, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got a pretty big game tonight on the road. Second down 10. Now we're down to 1:21 remaining in the half. Quick throw and catch. Darce. And now they're out to the 26. But the clock keeps winding down. We're going to have a minute or less on the next snap.
It looks like both teams are kind of satisfied with 14-7 now.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I keep saying how pretty it is. It is in the almost mid-80s. You get to the locker room with a touchdown lead on the road, maybe
Absolutely.
You're happy.
The way you've controlled the game with your running game, and you've made a couple mistakes. You held Arkansas when they had good field position last time. So, yeah, big win.
He's going to take a timeout when he gets down to about a second here. So there'll be maybe 35 seconds remaining in the half. There's the timeout. So we'll take one as well. 3rd down and 5 is coming up. Big play for both teams, especially Arkansas, when we come back. Coming up tonight, 7:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. 2 of the country's most exciting offenses square off. Mississippi State pays a visit to Louisiana Tech on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Carter, Aaron, Jenny will have that call for you coming up 7:30 tonight. 3rd down and 5 here.
Ness, if I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw deep. I'm not going to make a mistake for a first down. I'm going to make a mistake trying to get a touchdown.
Arkansas has 2 timeouts remaining if they don't pick up the first down, because they're going to keep it on the ground to Anderson, trying to follow his blockers. And he might have the first down. I think he does, and that'll end any hopes for Arkansas to have a chance to get the ball back. Nice second effort.
Well, Brett kind of tipped his hand. He didn't use his 2 timeouts. Gary Patterson ran the clock down as far as he could, figuring if he gets a first down, fine, we'll try something afterwards. If we don't, we'll punt it.
Bijan Jackson right now, who made the tackle, thinking, man, I wish I would have hit him a little bit more from the side. He actually knocked him into the first down at the 31-yard line.
He's going to, listen, he looked at Kenny Hill. He does not want him to make a mistake at the end of the half and go into the locker room with a bad taste in his mouth.
So that's where it's going to stand at the break. End of the first half. TCU on the road, leading 14-7. Gary Patterson gathering his troops. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter here in Fayetteville. TCU leading by a touchdown. They'll get the football first to start the 3rd quarter. You know, in the span of 12 days last month, we lost 3 of the greatest coaches in the history of this game. Dick McPherson, Eric Parsegian, who won a national championship at Notre Dame, and then the guy that roamed the sidelines here in Fayetteville for so many years and won a national championship as well in 1964, Frank Broyles, who passed away last month. Those guys just 6 days apart in passing. Frank was 92. There's what he did here in Fayetteville. Longtime athletic director, longtime analyst with our friend Keith Jackson, for that matter. And this is what the band did at halftime. Pretty cool. Frank Broyles, who passed away at 92. 3 legends. And then about a week ago, we lost Rolly Massimino and Jed Heathcote in the same week. Frank Broyles Field here in Fayetteville. As we start the 3rd quarter, TCU will have the football first. Connor Limpert to kick. And TCU is going to bring it out. Got to get Turpin on the ground. It took him a while, but they did. But he's all the way out near the 38-yard line. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson back with you in Fayetteville as we have a flag down on the field. We'll check that in a second. Gary, you know, you look at the stats, and you said it earlier. It was supposed to be pound, hogs, pound. It's try to pound and nothing's happening. And it's TCU that's kind of pounding things.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 rushes for TCU in the first half or 84 yards, and it all goes down to 3rd down. 7 for 9 for TCU on 3rd down. That's how they were able to hold the ball. That's nothing new. Last year in the game, they were 12 for 19 and 1 for 6 on 3rd down for Arkansas. That formula is what costs all those plays for TCU.
Arkansas had about 3 good offensive plays, and that's about it.
Right.
The flag was a legal block in the back.
I mean, that chip shot field goal is reminiscent of last year when they could have almost put them away with a chip shot field goal, and TCU roared back in the 4th quarter, and Austin Allen had to save it at the end of the game.
So starting at the 15 instead of way out where they would have been without the penalty is Kenny Hill, the quarterback. And he throws it out in the flat. Immediately going to be about a 2-yard gain. It's fumbled out of bounds. We check in with Allie.
Guys, I talked to both coaches, and after those 37 yards rushing, Brett Bielema told me we have to get back to playing Arkansas football. He said if the team plays in this game like they practice, he has no concern, but they didn't play to that level. For TCU, Patterson said he liked how they stopped the run, but he wants them to do better on the play action and the screens and quit turning the ball over on offense.
Good stuff, Allie.
Yeah, that turnover, that's why he didn't get to run those plays at the end of the half.
Exactly. When they had timeouts to work with. Hill fires far side. Nice throw and catch. First down. Jalen Rager will pick up the first. So now they got better field position out at the 27.
Good throw. True freshman on true freshman. Rager against Cameron Curl right there. Good throw. Good coverage. Accurate throw did it. Look how slow that Arkansas substitutes their players in. Since TCU substituted, Brett Bielema says, I'm going to take my biggest, slowest guy I got and trot him out there.
And that's the nose tackle. Bijan Jackson came in for Austin Capps, and that did slow down TCU to the point where they're finally getting the snap right here. Play action, quick slant, nice throw again, and another first down to the arse.
One of the things that all receivers love is that football right in their face mask. They watch it all the way in. It's like a catcher in baseball coming right at them, and they make the catch.
And with the opportunity to pick up first downs, they just keep hurrying it up out to the 49. 8-yard run by Hicks. Santos Ramirez brought him down, but they can just keep going tempo right now if they don't change up personnel. They do have a tight end in there in Cole Hunt. Second down and 2. Hicks cuts it outside, going to end up a yard shy thanks to Santos Ramirez. If Brett Bielema and Paul Rhodes had a whole bunch of number 9s, they'd have quite a squad, but he comes up holding his hamstring a little bit.
Well, let's see what kind of gut check here for this Arkansas defense. Theoretically, you know, the Brett Bielema's of the world believe that this spread offense has trouble on short yardage. Let's see if they can show that.
I would think this would be all Kenny Hill by himself. Nope. Gave it to Hicks. Whoa.
He got bounced back, though. I think he made it.
I think he did, too. Dre Greenlaw hit him and kind of spun him around, but he had already had forward progress for the first down.
Again, that offensive line's a veteran crew. Big. And they're matching up well and creating those creases inside.
Darius Anderson now comes in to the TCU backfield on a first down at the Arkansas 48-yard line.
A little flinch that time.
A little motion. First half trends. Kenny Hill, not overwhelming numbers, but he was pretty efficient with the exception of that interception. Austin Allen did not have a great game, though a great first half, though he did have a touchdown pass. And there's the problem.
Yep.
Arkansas not being able to run the ball.
And I think the problem really started with the first pass drop and then the 3-man rush. I think that kind of spooked Austin Allen.
They had 180 yards in the game last year against TCU. They got a long ways to go to get to those numbers. Hill, plenty of time to throw. Nice pitch and catch out to Diarce again. They're just doing what they want to do with the passing game right now.
And Diarce has had success in catching the ball against Arkansas when he played for LSU. He had 4 catches against them.
Again, they go hurry up, play action, and now Hill's going to run this all the way. Run out as he crossed the 40 and into the Arkansas bench.
Well, you just wonder. I know Paul Rhodes believes in his zone defense, his 3-man line. He's kind of trying to make everything happen in front of him. But when you can't stop the run between the tackles, when do you start loading the box and bringing some linebackers?
You asked him yesterday, what concerns you more, the tempo as they play or the speed that they have? He said both.
Yeah. Well,
he said, I told my dad, Cecil, who's almost 90 years old, Dad, they got a whole bunch of speed. And his dad said, that doesn't sound good.
But I don't think he was too concerned about them running between the tackles, and that has been a problem.
So a little breather here with a timeout here in the third quarter that has 11:19 remaining. TCU with a touchdown lead over the Razorbacks. This will be an Arkansas touchdown.
And the Horned Frogs now go up 13-7 in Fayetteville.
TCU a touchdown lead, 14-7. And now a taste of tradition presented by Sonic. Here's Alec.
Here's a tasty morsel for you. Back in 1909, following a big win over LSU, Arkansas football coach Hugo Bezdak called his team, then known as the Cardinals, a wild band of Razorback Hogs. The Razorbacks went on to a perfect 7-0 record that season, and Bezdak continued his coaching prowess in both professional football and baseball with the Pittsburgh Pirates. A little history for you.
I like that. I'm glad he changed it to the Razorbacks and the Hogs because we'd be going woo Cardinal Fly instead of woo Big Stewie. No, it doesn't work. TCU 8 out of 10 on the third down conversions.
I know. Amazing.
It was a clock issue on the timeout. It was neither team that took it. It was an official's timeout. So.
And then we decided to make some money, right?
They got to pay you.
Got to pay you. What are you talking about?
They're down in a yard. Alanalua is in the backfield with Kenny Hill. He scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Hill's going to keep it, and he's got a first down himself. Gets it inside the 35-yard line to the 34.
That time the Arkansas front stunted inside. Good call. Watch him stunt right at the snap. Good call, good read. I doubt if it was a read play, but Kenny Hill kept it, probably a called keep.
Now Kenny is going to, a little miscommunication between him and his receiver, I guess, on that one. Jalen Austin looked like Kenny was thinking he was going to run out, and he was just running a streak, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
And finally a little pressure. Dre Greenlaw, number 23, coming from the backside. Greenlaw very quiet in this football game. A tackling machine 2 years ago, injured last year. Very quiet in this game so far.
On this drive, they've mixed it well. 5 runs, 5 throws, 2nd down.
They're tipping blitz. They are
come off the corner.
Yep.
But Anderson ran right by a couple of those guys. Greenlaw did make the tackle that Gary just mentioned at the 31.
I'm not surprised. Paul Rose had to be thinking like I am, like, okay, man, I like to sit back, but sitting back eating popcorn ain't going to work against these guys.
So much has been made, and the fans have been waiting to see the 3-4 defense of Arkansas as they switched it up this year with Paul being the new defensive coordinator.
Well, that's because those talk shows. You got to talk for 11 months for. Believe me, I got to go on them all the time.
5 wide receivers in an empty backfield is Kenny Hill on a 3rd and 6. And it looks like Randy Ramsey wants to bring some heat off the near side corner for Arkansas. He's almost in a track stance.
They're coming in with 5.
Hill throws, first down. Turpin at the 20.
Turpin in the slot. He always lines up to the right. Paul Rhodes said we always have to know where he is, but he's a tough matchup man-to-man.
Just so quick into his breaks. Got good hands.
And Kevin Richardson is really a safety. It's a tough matchup covering the fastest guy, or one of the 2 fastest guys that play for TCU.
TCU back in the red zone. That's Turpin in motion. He's going to set up now in the backfield for a second. They're going to flare it out to him. Got a nice block on the corner. Puts the brakes on, and then they put the brakes on him at the 17. Cole Hunt gave him a nice block, the tight end.
Cole Hunt was lined up wide, comes in, transfer from Rice, and they use him as like an H-back, fullback, tight end type player.
Cole, a younger brother of former All Big 12 center Joey Hunt, who played at TCU, so that's a family affair. There he is. Verizon red zone today. 2 trips, 2 touchdowns. Arkansas is hoping that doesn't happen again. 2nd down and 8. Anderson and Alanalua in the backfield. And it's Anderson following number 33. And he's got another first down if he doesn't end up in the end zone. Arkansas can't bring him down all the way to the 3-yard line. Tough run for a guy that's only 205.
Yeah. What do you mean? The Big 12 team is running the ball on us?
Wow.
That's the kind of look you get, both hands on the forehead. I got to give great kudos and discipline to Sonny Cumbie, excuse me. He is a passing guy.
But he knows what's working.
Exactly. I mean, why do it? Sonny Cumbie's going, all right, I'll do it.
1st and goal, TCU trying to take a 2-touchdown lead.
Oh, shit.
And the ball is on the ground. It's still out, and Arkansas think has it?
I think the center misfired on it.
Briston Guidry has it for Arkansas.
Boy, you talk about making a mistake. I assume that's a TCU fan right there.
Looked like it hit his own leg when he tried to snap it.
Or he slipped out of his hand or something. I mean, it's not like TCU goes under center. Usually when that happens, you say, well, maybe the center thought the quarterback was center-quarterback exchange, but they don't do that. It had to have slipped.
A huge play by Guidry anyway, and now Arkansas, even though they're in a hole, at least they didn't give up another score, and they've got the ball back. Second TCU turnover.
And you go 15 plays and you come up empty.
And Whaley dives out for about 3.
Can we see if it did hit his leg?
Looked like it hit his left thigh.
He's looking back. I think it just slipped out of his hand. Hill runs in there. I thought he had it. Kenny Hill. He runs into the jet motion at the play and distracts him and doesn't get the ball.
Huge mistake when it looked like it was going to be 21-7.
I mean, if you're thinking on offense, you're TCU, think everything's going right, perfect, we're controlling the game, and all of a sudden you can't snap the ball.
Here's a pitch to Whaley trying to go wide this time. Boy, Devois has had to pay for everything he's earned today. Got about 2 more yards. It's going to be 3rd down.
Well, and the main game plan that Dan Enos thought he could, and actually Brett told us, we think we can get to the outside and get to their corners and make those corners tackle, has not been able to materialize.
You know, they've used Chase Hayden very little today. Gary, the freshman, who really has the most speed in their backfield.
He slipped on one play and it didn't look like he had. And remember, this Arkansas team 1 for 6 on 3rd down.
3rd down and 5, empty set. Austin Allen across the middle, incomplete, intended for Deion Stewart, got his left hand on it, and that's it. So
see, that's that miscommunication. When you graduate 4 senior receivers and you come back, that's an option play. The slot and the quarterback have to be in sync. Right now, Austin thinks he's going to keep going. The receiver slows down and hesitates 1 foot, and it's incomplete.
That was last year. It would have been Drew Morgan or Keon Hatcher. And it would have been a first down.
It's a learning experience. Those throws look so easy. Why don't you do it all the time? But there's no time for the receiver to adjust for the ball on short throws.
Blake Johnson's been too busy of a punter if you're an Arkansas fan today from his own goal line. Turpin's going to have a chance at this one from the 48. Made the first man miss, and he's got it inside the 40. Nice return. And he thinks he could have had even more. As it is, he gives his team the ball back in great field position.
He's so smart. His very first move, right as he catches it, creates the space for him.
So he said last year averaged 12.5 yards a punt return, including a touchdown. He was hoping to get one there, but he set his team up in a great spot at the 38. That's where they'll start offensively when we come back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, Dr. Pepper, State Farm, and by Wheels Up. 14-7 TCU. Gary Patterson's Horned Frogs in front by a touchdown. Gary won his 150th game last year as a head coach at TCU. And with that, we'll bring you to our Aflac trivia question. Who's the longest tenured active head coach in the NCAA? We'll get the answer for you in a few minutes. And Turpin on the carry. Gary's been around the TCU program 20 years, 17th year as a head coach, and 10 double-digit win seasons over those 16 years. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, but right now, it's critical time for this Arkansas defense. You know, it's easy to say I'm going to rotate my guys. After a 15-play drive and a 3-and-out, do you dare put your second guys in at this point?
Kenny Hill wants it all. Going to the end zone, one-hand attempt.
I would be irate if I was a head coach for a receiver to stick up one hand on that throw.
This looked like a sure touchdown.
I mean, this turns them around. Ball, oh, come on.
The freshman, Jalen Reagor.
I would just be irate. Everybody, 10 guys do their job, and Reagor tries to be Odell Beckham Jr.
3rd down and 4. After what probably should have been a touchdown. Hill, quarterback, draw, try to get away from the red jerseys and can't. That is 4th down.
See, think how big that was.
Yeah.
Since the missed field goal that Arkansas had, Brad, they've had 3 3-and-outs. The plays are starting to mount up. What, 55-28. They just went 15 plays, and you got a chance to put them away, and the young player says, I'm going to stick up one hand so I can get on the highlight reels.
You talk about the play of the game. It's 4th down, and TCU's going for it.
They were 1 for 1 last year in 4th down, 12 for 19, and 1 for 1 on 4th down.
Gary Patterson will gamble from the 32-yard line. Oh, it's quick kick.
Yeah.
Good call. Unless it goes to the end zone, and it does, so they don't gain much out of that. But they didn't make a mistake either.
Well, there was a mistake by the receiver to the wide side of the field. He ran a pass route, and had he gone down on the punt, because the signal was quick kick, and that's the reason the ball went into the end zone.
Opportunities for TCU that they left out on the field. 2 hands, still a bobble, and still just a 1-score game. 14-7 it remains because of a drop ball on what should have been a touchdown.
Right, so here's the touchdown. I think I called him Monty Reagor. That's his father's name. And even Monty texts me this, and I know he's my son. Don't call him Monty. That's Jalen that tried the one-handed catch. Here's the quick kick. And Jalen Reagor, again, doesn't see the signal. He's running the pass route. He would have been the guy that downed it inside the 5.
His dad was part of the Colts Super Bowl team, and Peyton was there. And he's getting a talking to. He did not have a good 5 minutes there.
No, that's a touch. They actually, back-to-back scoring opportunities. TCU gets blanked. So where do you go if you're Dan Enos?
Let's find out. How about a screen pass? And that goes backwards. Wow. Devois Whaley dropped for a loss by Traven Howard. Arkansas has had 8 possessions today. 5 of the first 7 have been 3-and-outs. That's not good.
No.
And a missed field goal that would have helped the cause.
That's just the 16th play since the first play of the second quarter. And that's a program who likes to go 16 plays in one drive.
Right. So now they're behind the chains again after a 4-yard loss on the screen pass. 2nd down, 14.
Heavy pressure on offensive coordinator Danny Enos now to find something.
Maybe a big pass play. Austin Allen wants one. Going deep. His man fell down. I don't think he would have had a chance at it anyway. Lamichael Petway was the intended receiver. Jeff Gladney was covering. That one was thrown towards the middle of the field and it really wasn't close.
No, and again, Brad, I don't know who was thinking what, but I'm going with the 5th-year senior quarterback who thought the receiver was going to go to the middle of the field on a post route. Again, young players, veteran quarterback, 4 grads, and now you got to get the timing all. And TCU's a legit defense.
Right. Now, granted, he stumbled, but I don't think he was in the right area.
Yeah, but I think Austin felt he was going to go to the middle of the field. That's why it looked so out of the area or out of the screen. Third and 14.
Now you got to be careful on this snap. 3rd and 14. Be careful with the ball. Here comes the rush. Allen waits. He's going to run with it. He's going to get there. Are you kidding?
I know. How about that? Right now, Gary Patterson is going, what is going on? We have 2 opportunities to score and make it a 14-point game. We quick kick. We get their quarterback on 3rd and 14, and you're kidding me? He's going to pick up 14 yards on a broken play?
One of their biggest plays of the day. 15-yard scramble, and the senior quarterback got just what he needed. And they keep the drive alive at the 32.
Yeah, because he ran out of gas right there.
Now it's Williams, and he's got a big gainer this time. David Williams, he'll take some Horned Frogs with him down all the way to the 40-yard line. Nice opening off the left side and then follows his blockers, then turns on the speed, and back-to-back plays are the two biggest runs of the day.
Yeah, and when you create a little opening, you get a good block up front, and now you run between the tackles, just like creating a pressure point that TCU did running inside. That's how you do it.
16 on the run by Allen, 26 on the run by Williams, and first down at the TCU 42. Williams had tried again, got it to the 40.
Yeah, and that's a safety again, filling that hole as the 8th man up. Nick Orr, number 18, comes from the second level. That was his assignment. He gives the look as if he's back deep, and he's filling as that 8th man in the box.
Nick and Nico back there, those two safeties, number 2 and number 18. As I said earlier, they make a lot of tackles.
And that's because they're committed to the run. And you should theoretically be able to attack the middle of the field behind them. They did it once. So far, they can't do it again.
Second down at 8. Play action pass for Austin Allen.
Good
Gonna
study.
go deep. Got a man out there, and we're going to have a flag. We are. Pass interference.
Austin Allen would like that one back. Not a good throw.
No, it was underthrown.
Yep.
Anthony Tejada is the guy that's a guilty party.
Yep.
Austin knows exactly what Gary's talking about.
He got a stutter to the outside. He knows that the safety's in the box.
Pass interference. Defense, number 18. A 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I think it was number 11. But
Yeah, 5th-year senior sees right here. I got the safety. I know I got one-on-one to the outside. Stutter, perfect play. Got a touchdown. I do not lay it out there. And that's why Austin was shaking his head.
Tejada was a guilty party, number 11, even though number 18 was called. And it's a first down at the 25. So this is rare territory for Arkansas. They haven't spent that much time on this end of the field. Williams stays in there as a single setback, and he's going to get the toss. Will he get some blocks, though? Yes, he did. Almost 10. And all of a sudden, the ground game of Arkansas has come to life.
Well, I thought there might be a lot of ways to kind of start this offense up. I didn't think it would be running by Austin Allen on 3rd and 14.
That was the spark for sure.
Yeah.
It's second down and literally inches. We'll call it 1, but it's just shaded outside the 15-yard line.
And boy, did Arkansas's defense need this drive.
And look at how many hogs there are up front right now on 2nd and 1. Williams, I don't think he got it. They had every lineman and tight end they have on the roster out there, and he still didn't get the first down. It was kind of slow to develop. It's a little bit of a delayed handoff. He'll come out. He's done most of the work. Debois Whaley will come in.
Now Brett Bielema has to think forward here.
You bet.
What does he do if he doesn't pick up this one?
They don't have a good field goal kicker. At least we don't think so.
Not in this direction, at least.
Now they've got the fullback in there. It's actually Cantrell now. He goes out on the left side. They're just going to go straight ahead with Whaley still on his feet. It's 1st and goal, Arkansas. Fresh legs of Debois Whaley.
Well, that's what the Arkansas fans have been waiting. Run right behind Ragnow, and they did it. Ragnow teamed up with the young freshman, helped him a little bit, then got to the second level and took the linebacker.
Arkansas giving TCU a little taste of their own medicine. They go tempo here. Whaley only got a yard, though. Nice close from the backside on the tackle. And Matt Wilson, the outside defensive end / linebacker, made the stop. It's 2nd down and goal. And this time Arkansas will huddle.
Remember in that game a year ago, Arkansas had 1st and goal from the 2 and came away with nothing in that game. They missed a short field goal in the 3rd quarter that really changed the feeling of that game.
2nd down. Whaley behind Austin Allen will get the carry.
Same thing.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nick Orr.
Yep, right off the edge. It's almost like a field goal attack right there. Coming from the edge, he gets right off it, times it out, meets it in the backfield. Wow.
And now your threat of play action's gone away. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, they're going to wait till the 4th quarter and decide what to do. Man, I got a feeling this feels like an Army-Navy game. This is going so fast. I thought our first game we should elongate it,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, maybe we'll get to overtime.
Yeah, it will.
End of 3, 14-7. We'll return to Fayetteville after this message and a word from your local station. We start the fourth quarter, and the fans down on this end, you're disappointed because your team is going the other way into the construction at Razorback Stadium, and there's only about 20 camera guys down there to cheer if they score.
If we go overtime, you know which way Gary Patterson's going to want to go.
Exactly.
Towards the construction hats.
Debois Whaley, the single setback, 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. They fake it to him. Austin Allen lobs it, end zone. He's out of bounds.
He was.
Cantrell, the tight end, he caught it, but his feet were out of bounds.
And now what do you do on 4th down? Lack of discipline by Cantrell. He's got to stay. That was an open play. He drifted out of bounds. He gets a chip block, and then he's open. Watch him continue to drift. They missed a 23-yard field goal, remember.
And they're going to set up for another one that's close. Fans booing again. They wanted to go on 4th down. Instead, they bring out Cole Hedlund. And as Gary said, he missed from 23. This one is not on a hash mark. It's right in the middle of the field, and it's from 20. Reed Miller to hold to try to make it a 4-point game. Hedlund from 20. Oh, and he hit the left upright.
My goodness. Oh.
And the kicking follies continue for Arkansas.
And TCU did not rush one guy. They conceded the 3 points. You know, I hate to say it. He was closer this time, though.
You're terrible. Still 14-7. Not Cole Hedlund's day so far. This was a 20-yard field goal attempt moments ago, and just listen to the sound. It sounded like a gun went off as he hit the left upright. So Arkansas is driven to the 5 and the 2-yard line against TCU. They have absolutely no points to show for it.
And I think he got maybe a slight tap on the helmet from one guy. That was it.
It was probably the long snapper or his holder. Hill will give it off to Anderson. Anderson got a block. He's got 10. He's got more. Great second effort. 15-yard run by Darius Anderson. And so TCU goes right back to the ground game that's been working for them. And they'll hurry up and come up to the line at the 35-yard line with a first down. Quick throw and catch and pickup of 7 out to Desmond White.
And that's really the up-tempo offense at its best right there. When you can run it and keep the other team guessing, then you can run the RPO and throw the little bubble screen off it. You know, the whole offensive line was blocking the run on that play.
So they've already moved it to the 42, second down at 3. Again, the counter to Anderson has worked for 16 last time, and it's worked for another big gainer into Arkansas territory.
The plays are mounting up against this Arkansas defense. You know, the drive didn't produce any points for Arkansas, but it was a decent drive taking the clock and plays. But again, here they come, TCU, and it looks like more of a half-tired, demoralized Arkansas defensive front right now.
Saw the offensive play disparity. TCU right back in hogland at the 49-yard line. Kyle Hicks follows his blockers, trying to cut it outside, but a nice job by Dre Greenlaw to bring him down for a short gain.
Yeah, you have to, if Arkansas is going to mount a comeback in this game, they have to put the onus on Kenny Hill to be the guy. If they're getting a two-handed boxer, Kenny Hill's going to be so comfortable in that pocket making the easy throws. If they don't stop this running game and put it back in the quarterback's hands, might lose that way. Hill might make the throw, but that's their only chance. They're so off balance now.
And if TCU gets any points out of this drive, time is of the essence the way Arkansas's offense has sputtered today. 2nd and 9. Hill wanted to go out in the right flat. Now he's going to scramble around and take off on his own. Ooh, took a big shot and bounced off it. Great second effort by Kenny Hill. He got popped by Greenlaw, and he picked up about 5 more yards after that.
Yeah, everybody thinks the quarterback's going to run out of bounds. Greenlaw doesn't know if he can hit him or he's going to go out of bounds, and at the last second, he turns back up and inside and makes the first down.
Good run. And we got a guy down.
think it's Dwayne Eugene, number 35.
Yep. We've been relatively injury-free today, which is good. So, clock stop, 12.5 to go. TCU on the move and already trailing, leading, I should say, by a touchdown.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
And here's how it's gone today. Tale of two halves. The Arkansas ground game just couldn't get going early. First half, only 37 yards on the ground. They did get going in the second half. Mostly David Williams on this run, one of their longest plays of the game. But Alanalua got the first touchdown on the ground for TCU. And then Austin Allen, longest play of the day for Arkansas. The touchdown pass, but that's their only score of the day. Kenny Hill, opportunity went awry there as a freshman dropped what should have been a touchdown pass. Could have been 21-7 right now. And then we thought it was going to be 14 to at least 10. But for the second time today, Cole Hedlund missed a chip shot. And so we're stuck on 14-7. And TCU on the march right now at the Arkansas 38-yard line.
You know, as we talked about before the break there, trying to put the pressure on Kenny Hill. Ironically, in my mind, for TCU to challenge in the Big 12, Kenny Hill has to be the third of one of the three big quarterbacks. There's two other ones, Baker Mayfield and Mason Rudolph. Can Kenny Hill approach that level? So it's kind of yin and yang here.
Here's the play that's worked well today, but it doesn't this time. Darius Anderson brought down, and it's Sosa Agim with his first big play of the day for lost yardage.
Yeah, Sosa Agim has been told that three technique of eat up blockers. He was more of a 4-down lineman last year. You can his quickness and getting into the backfield. They want him, instead of getting penetration this year, to cause havoc at the line of scrimmage. But that time, he showed you he can still get in the backfield.
So a loss of 3, second down and 13. Alanalua in the backfield with Kenny Hill. It's a pass all the way. Hill, left sideline, overshot John Diarse. And now it's a play of the game coming up for the Arkansas defense.
Good coverage this time, forcing the ball. Tolliver in perfect sync. Doesn't panic, doesn't get the late interference call, forces the perfect throw, and it wasn't. And if you look, the story of the game, you know, because of the running game, TCU has been in that third down conversion range.
They're going to have to earn this one. Third down and 13. Everybody looks to the TCU sideline. Hill going to throw it short to Alanalua. He doesn't have much room to work with, and a nice job by Arkansas as Randy Ramsey brought him down. Maybe a gain of 1, but it's fourth down.
Boy, you can really feel that Sonny Cumbie and Gary Patterson or whoever's talking on the sidelines, they just don't want to allow Kenny Hill to make a big mistake. They're willing to let him throw on first and second down or within sync of the chains, but on third and long, they don't let him do it.
I'm hoping this is just a cramp. Randy Ramsey's the guy who made the tackle. It didn't look like he got up immediately and then went back down.
And a lot of people felt that Ramsey would be the guy that benefited the most from going to the 3-4.
Yeah. Let's take a look as he gets whipped around a little bit. Got hit by his own guy.
Yeah, that looks dangerous. Knee to knee.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, Napa, Geico, and by Chick-fil-A. Back at Frank Broyles Field and Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. Punting situation coming up for TCU right now. And that's Andre Tolliver back as the punt return man, a 4-year starter, as Arkansas is going to get the ball back here. 11:07 remaining. But they've missed 2 chip shot field goals. They need to put some offense together once they return this. Adam Nunez to kick.
Arkansas playing defense safe here.
Just in case.
Yep.
You wouldn't think we'd see a fake punt here, but you never know. 4th down and 12. Now they make the call. One of the protection group, Cole Hunt, number 81, made the call. Low snap. Rugby style punt, end over end. Bounces at about the 14, I think, is where they're going to put it out.
I think for the second time, Gary Patterson was not happy with his special teams there. I think he expected that ball to be a little deeper on that kick.
Special teams haven't been so special today so far. We've had a lot of tempo stuff in this game, and we almost forgot to answer the Aflac trivia question for you that we asked earlier, and that was, who's the longest tenured active head coach in the NCAA? We told you Gary Patterson, 17th year. Kirk Ferentz, 19th, and his team beat the Cyclones of Iowa State today in overtime. So it's Kirk, Gary, Mike Gundy, Frank Solich. I can't believe Frank's been there 13 years.
That's unbelievable.
Kyle Whittingham, 13. Of course, Bob Stoops would have been in that group had he not retired. He would have been number 2. And if you think about the most coaching wins at one school actively, wouldn't be Gary or Kirk. It'd be Coach Snyder at Kansas State.
Stop and a start in between for Coach Snyder.
Exactly.
Well, here we go. Right? I mean,
it's time.
I don't want to say now or never, but show a sign, right?
Yep. And Montrell Wilson brings down David Williams after he picked up almost 4.
It's hard to believe, Austin Allen coming into his senior year just shows you the communication you have to have with the receivers and graduating those guys. He threw over 401 passes last year for 3,400 yards plus.
Which led the SEC.
Absolutely. And look at this game, 6 for 14.
He's pointing out the middle linebacker, if you can find one on this defense. For the most part, it's Traven Howard. There's the long handoff fake, and now he's going to run it.
Covered. Great.
And he took another huge shot from Wilson. He's taking some hits today.
I mean, the bootleg was covered. They're trying to come across, and nobody's there. Nobody's open. Look at right here. Looking at the crossing route. This guy isn't covered. I mean, great job. And as Brad called, I mean, if you're Austin Allen, you got to do something. You just can't run out of bounds. You need every yard you got. And he earned that last yard, didn't he?
He took it right in the ear hole, that's for sure. And it's 3rd down and 2. This is a must-have right now at the 9-minute mark for Arkansas.
And remember, they're 3 for 10.
Hasn't mattered if they've been short yardage or long. They have had struggles on 3rd down. Allen blitz off the corner. Throw in the flat, got his man. Complete 1st down out to the 32 to Deion Stewart.
Yeah, they crossed the receivers that time. Nice little package. Cross the receivers, goes in motion, crisscross, wide open throw. Puts it right there, and you can't drop that when you need the 1st down too badly.
Even with that, Austin had to sort of sidearm it at the end because he got some pressure off the top side.
You know what he also had to do? He had to kind of throw early and pick a spot because he could feel the guy coming.
Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Boy, I tell you, TCU, what is their deepest guy is 4 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Allen, on play action. Throws, incomplete, intended for the tight end, Austin Cantrell.
And the tight end does not scare Nico Small. You know, he stride for stride, and that was a gobble-up coverage that time.
Yeah, if that was Travis Henry, might have scared him, but Cantrell not that level right now as a tight end for Arkansas. So it's 2nd down and 10. Clock stop of 8:19. 7 out of 16. 112 and a touchdown.
And you can't blame the call. I mean, TCU's got everybody at the line of scrimmage. You run a play action pass, and they turn around and fit every crossing route out there. That is just great defense.
Trying to get wide as Williams. He finally did, and he's got a 1st down. He's been the best back today, but there's flags all over the place.
And the whole Arkansas bench saw the hold because the jersey was being grabbed
on Cantrell.
The play. Yep, Cantrell on Bozen.
Here's a call.
Holding. Offense, number 44. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That jersey gets distorted. Your tight end, everyone is always, there's an official that looks at the tight end on every play. And you see how that jersey got distorted? Brett Bielema and Dan Enos on the Arkansas sideline knew it before the guy threw the flag.
Yeah. So now we're under 8 minutes, and just when they had something working, they go 10 yards backwards, 2nd and 20.
I mean, 14-7 though. You got to just concentrate and do the little things. Pick up half of it.
Allen going to go deep. Wants a bunch of it. Oh, he shot everybody. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studios for a Ford update. Adam.
All right, Brad. The Texas defense having a much easier time with San Jose State than they did with Maryland. Holton Hill, 2 non-offensive touchdowns last week. A pick 6 here to make it 35-0 late in the 3rd quarter. They're knocking on the door again now that the 4th is underway. We'll see what they can do against USC on the road next week, Brad and Gary.
Well, Tom Herman can breathe a little bit easier maybe when that one's over. It wasn't a good week in Austin, that's for sure.
Brad, right now, the TCU defense has literally no respect or fear at all for the receivers for Arkansas.
Play fake. Allen trying to step up. He's going to run right into big number 94, Corey Bethley.
Again, nothing. Nobody open. Nobody open. A deep crossing route. The TCU linebackers are sinking back 15 yards, making everything happen behind them, and there's nothing there. Nobody to throw the ball to.
Brings up a punting situation again.
Literally, the young receivers, there's no guy that stresses this defense for TCU.
Yep. The guy back as a punt returner will stress you out a little bit if he gets his hands on one. Cavante Turpin back at the 40. He's got to call a fair catch, but it's great field position again around the 46-yard line. If TCU does any kind of decent drive, Arkansas might not touch the ball again.
And if you're Sonny Cumbie, as you look at this drive, you tell you that offense, if we put points on the board, we win.
Right. Well, the best games from the best conference next week. I guess weather permitting, we'll tell you. Tennessee and Florida. We hope to be in Gainesville, but it truly may be a swamp. We're not sure, but 3:30 next week. It all starts Home Depot on SEC next Saturday with the college football today, presented by State Farm at 3 o'clock. And we're going to remind you, just help everybody that's affected by the disasters, will you? Visit redcross.org for more information. And I don't care if it's Harvey or Irma or Jose behind it. Do what you can. TCU with the ball, the lead, and 6:47 to go in regulation. Kenny Hill in the gun as he has been all day long. And he'll keep this, go up the middle to get 2 or 3, and get down and watch the clock wind. As Gary said before that timeout, they get a couple of first downs. Arkansas is going to have to start thinking about using their timeouts, and if they get any kind of score on this drive, it doesn't look good for the hometown Hogs.
Usually when you run a lot more plays than another team, you're at 75 to 80 plays. But in this game, 65-45. Only 45 plays that Arkansas is running this game.
Hill will throw. Maybe. He does, and he hit his target perfectly for a first down. Sean Nixon.
That was a nice throw going to his left. One of the things you have to remember, when you're going left or right, when you're on the run and the receiver's on the run, you're going the same speed. So you throw the ball right at him. Physics. Remember, we learned that, Brad, in school.
I didn't do well in physics.
Come on. You don't lead him. When you're running and he's running, it's as if you're both. Remember when you throw the ball up in the car and it comes back down to you? There it is.
66-45, and normally it's Arkansas that chews up clock, but not today. And TCU is going to take a timeout here with 5:33 remaining. Gary Patterson wants to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, and if you look at Gary Patterson and you look what they've got in front of them, before mid-October they have to play Oklahoma State, Kansas State, on Arkansas on the road. Woo.
You look in at Razorback Stadium where the home team's down a touchdown, and looking at Kenny Hill and TCU here in the fourth quarter with 5.5 to go.
Arkansas almost has to pretend the 34-yard line is the goal line. They have to put their toes in the ground right there and not back up. They can't allow a first down.
Darius Anderson's had a big game. He gets another call, heads to the corner, wants to stay in bounds, and does at the 41-yard line. Coming up after our game, stay tuned for the CBS Sports post-game show powered by Ram. Adam, Rick, and BJ will be along with you, all the scores and highlights. There have not been a lot of offensive highlights in this one. One touchdown by Arkansas, a couple on the ground by TCU, which you would think would be the exact opposite when you look at these two teams and their history.
Yeah, the highlight for TCU fans has been the thud off the goalpost so far, the sound.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep, that sounded like a cannon down there in the left end zone. They're taking their time now.
Can they go slow and get a first down?
Play fake. Hill looked like he wanted to throw. He still does, I guess. And now he's going to go down. 4 guys get to him, led by Kevin Richardson.
Well, Paul Rhodes brought the house that time from the edge. Kevin Richardson flushes him, and then he cleans him up at the end of it.
If Arkansas is to have a chance, they have to have this stop.
Well, you know that TCU is nervous about giving the ball back to Austin Allen. That didn't work last year. He took him down in 62 seconds to tie the game up.
So here's the biggest play so far. 3rd down and 12. 3 wideouts to Kenny Hill's left. Asking for the ball. Looking that way. Has time. Throws deep. And tipped. Incomplete. And here comes the flag.
And I think the receiver went for the interference on that play.
Tolliver got a hand on it, but didn't turn his head until the last moment.
Pass interference, defense, number 5. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's a good call.
And that was a great veteran play by Darce that time, number 9. He knew that the corner on that play was in trouble. The ball was floating, and he went for the pass interference on that one.
That's a great play by him because he had his man beat by about 4 yards, and when he knew it was underthrown, he just came back and
he knew that there'd be panic, and why wouldn't you panic if you're an Arkansas player? I got a touchdown. It's underthrown. Make it work. And look at him put his hands out like that. He wanted the call the whole way.
First down at the 31, and now they can go back to the ground game, and Hicks and grinding the clock down. 3:45.
Now Brett has to start thinking, when do I use them?
Exactly. He's got 3 timeouts we're talking about. And they're going to use as much of that. Going to be around the 3-minute mark when they snap it.
We used to work together. We used to have to remember this. Now it's just right there.
I know, it's pretty simple.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy.
I love technology.
Right. Before we used to have those cards and scratch out a number and all that stuff.
3 down, 2 middle.
Just outside the 27. TCU.
They're coming. They're all out.
Here's what they've done all game. Darius Anderson. And now he knows to stay in bounds and cut back inside. Smart play by number 6.
Yep. Knew he had the first down. Gets to the outside and says, even though he's just a sophomore, had that big game against Texas last year when he put over 100 yards and 3 carries, and look at that. I'm a heady player too, Coach.
I think he's past what he did last year.
And now Brett has no choice. He's going to have to call a timeout after every play.
Yeah. That's 93 yards on the ground for Darius, but he's been the guy that's carried the load today. And we're down to 2.5. Will be less than 2.5 when Kenny Hill takes the snap. He's going to be under center. When have we said that earlier? Not many times. And here's Anderson going the other way. Inside the 10. Anderson, touchdown. And there's the capper for the Horned Frogs. We talked about him the last 3 plays. He caps it off from 14 yards, and now he does have a better game than Texas a year ago.
I'm so confused here. They were going for the ball so much on that play. Santos Ramirez had him dead and he went to tackle the ball. It almost appeared, and I know they wouldn't do this, it almost appeared like they'd let him score to get the ball back. This is too big of a lead to do that.
Right.
Man, he ran right through 2 tackles. I think it was...
You know, the 3 touchdown runs, they've barely been touched.
I know.
Extra point is good.
And Brett was standing right next to the official to signal timeout. So that was not a called play to let them score to get it back.
But this guy has been the man. 15 carries, 106 yards, and probably the capper in this game. Touchdown, TCU. 21-7 now, TCU on the road and close to a big road victory. And that guy has been the star of the show for the Horned Frogs, Darius Anderson. Capping a 55-yard drive in 7 plays in about 4.5 minutes to make it a 2-touchdown lead. Kickoff to the goal line to Deion Stewart. Oh, and the ball comes out, and I think TCU's got it. So just when Arkansas needed a big play, it went the other way on them. Sammy Douglas recovers the fumble.
Sammy Douglas, who torched Arkansas a year ago for 17 tackles, puts the game away. Big hit, and Douglas comes from behind.
Ennis Gaines is the guy that made the hit right there, and out comes the ball.
Yeah, he kind of stuck his arm out, got the ball with one arm at that time, and then Sammy Douglas falls on it, and no magic even being able to be tried by Austin this year to try to do. He had to do a 62-second drive last year. We'd had to do 2 of them this year to do it.
And now Arkansas has got to use their timeouts on every snap, and about 1 first down would just about do it.
Remember, we started off the game talking about why this was circled as such a big game. Remember, from here, Arkansas is going to play A&M, and then they're at Bama and at LSU. And for TCU, their big 3 against the 3 favorites in the Big 12 are all on the road. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma.
And now they're just going with a Wildcat here, Alanalua, who scored early in the ball game. He wants to score again and does. Touchdown. Wow.
How sweet is this for the finesse Big 12 to put it to the SEC today?
13 yards of carnage for the touchdown. I'm talking about 225 pounds of you are not bringing me down. Second touchdown run of the day for number 33.
Yeah, that's humiliating to your football team. Back-to-back plays like that. And no one's going to feel sorry for Arkansas.
Nope. They're going to see a lot of people try to do the same thing to him until they get it fixed.
Yep.
Song, the extra point, puts up point number 28. Here he comes. Shewo Alanalua, his second touchdown is 28-7. Coming up Sunday, October 1st, one show will solve crime in a whole new way using the wisdom of the crowd. Jeremy Piven stars. Series premieres Sunday, October 1st, only CBS. 28-7. So TCU paying back Arkansas in spades for the double overtime setback in Fort Worth last year, and Arkansas was never in this game, especially with the 2 missed field goals that could have made it a ball game. Instead, as we take a look at the GMC game changer, it was the ground game of TCU, not Arkansas, and especially this guy, Darius Anderson, having the game of his life. Career high 15 carries, career high 106 yards, and this touchdown that just capped it without any doubt right there.
Yeah, and that was the story of the game. TCU be able to run the ball between the tackles right at this Arkansas front 7. And then, you know, a side story, I think, is the youth at receiver for Arkansas.
No doubt. Austin Allen getting what he can here before he gets out of bounds with a first down. And that will end up being his longest run of the day, even though the one he had earlier was a 16-yard scamper that gave him a first down that still gave him some hope. But
and you know what play stood out to me the most is, remember that early 3rd down throw over the middle where the receiver was hooking up and Austin was leading him across the field.
Yeah.
You know, that there, right there you go, whoa. And that's how intricate the passing game is on the college level like that. You have to be on the same page, and the young receiver and the fifth-year quarterback were not.
That's when he was wondering where Keon Hatcher, Drew Morgan, and Jeremy Sprinkle were. That throw down the middle hits number 1, Jared Cornelius, right in the hands, and he dropped it. Gary talked about TCU's schedule before that last time out.
Look at the ats.
Ooh.
I know.
You know you got to score a lot of points at Oklahoma State.
And even Gary said that when he had that turnaround year in 14, he had, what, 9 or 10 games in the state of Texas. This year, you look at Oklahoma State, you're right, Texas Tech scores a lot of points.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to earn it.
Well,
I did think they were a sleeper good team, though.
You did.
Yeah,
we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Right. I really thought that what they get coming back, 21 seniors, veterans in a lot of offensive line positions, I thought they had a chance.
Austin Allen just got totally crushed after he let go of that football by about 3 different Horned Frog defenders. This is not the way you want to end your day.
No, and this is the way you don't want to get your quarterback hurt for the rest of the season either.
True. He did get the pass complete out the midfield at the minute 30 mark.
Because remember, you got a freshman, albeit a redshirt freshman behind him, but if they have any chance Arkansas does is coming back, he can't get hurt.
Monday on Colbert, Stevens got John Oliver plus Woody Harrelson. That should be some laughs. And Tuesday, don't miss Daniel Craig. He's back as Bond, James Bond, on the Emmy-nominated Late Show, only CBS. Maybe the last snap offensively for Arkansas, unless they pick up a first down for Austin Allen. Has to scramble, throws on the run, and completed it for a first down. TCU sideline saying he's out of bounds. But the official right on it marks it at the 29-yard line. Got it to Jonathan Nance. .110 remaining. Arkansas has got 2 timeouts.
And all these games, these conference games have ramifications. This is a big one for the Big 12. They come down in a tiebreaker with anybody but Alabama. Right. They might be able to get an argument.
And remember, they've got a championship game this year, be it number 1 against number 2, not a divisional thing. Allen hit, got away, and throws into traffic, knocked away, broken up.
Anthony Tejada that time saw that ball, made up the yard. It looked like he was open. I thought he was going to be a touchdown, and he just played the ball like it was a corner, but he played it like a center fielder. Could have been a sack. He ducks it, and then all of a sudden it looks like completion, but he comes off and gets it with his left hand.
Very nice play. Austin Allen still look up the big screen on this end to see how that play ended.
You talk about garbage yardage here. The only thing that you can make the argument, I think Brett will, is we needed to get routes for our young receivers to go out there and run routes in live action. I don't know if you can see the frustration, and that's not with that play. That's the last straw of a day of frustration right there.
I think that was aimed at Deion Stewart, but I'm not 100% sure. Plus, Austin took another one right in the chest when he let go of the ball.
Yeah, and TCU only rushing 3 guys.
Right. So 3rd down and 10.
Last year, TCU had 46 sacks, the most of a Gary Patterson career. And it looks like they got the same guys going this year, don't they?
Absolutely. Here they come with 6. And Austin Allen has to run for his life again. And he took another shot and just threw it in the ground. And it's 4th down. You know, Gary Patterson, we mentioned, got his 150th win last week in their opener, and he said, you know what, I'd like to get to 160. If he would do that, that would make an 11-win season.
Very
He'd
good.
take that, right?
Right. You know, we talk about the great jobs done in college football. We always, go Bill Snyder, but this guy right here, I mean, Brad, when we worked together, we did a TCU game. I looked around back then and go, are they even going to be playing football in 10 years?
They almost shut it down, remember?
Right.
Well, he's put this team and helped put that city in a football mode. Maybe the last snap for Arkansas. 4th and 10. Allen hit, down he goes, and it is the last snap. And again, it was this Haku from the secondaries. They brought everybody. They figured, well, you know what? I don't think he can complete a pass because I don't think his receivers can get open. So TCU is going to be 2-0. The last 3 years, even though they had a lost year kind of last year at 6-7, they have been second best in the Big 12 with a record of 29-10, only second to Oklahoma, and also 19-8 in conference play. So this is a big nice ribbon for them.
It is, and you know, but for us, when we do games now, we get out of here. We're going to go do another hot game next week, okay? For Arkansas, now you got to go in that locker room, look at each other, and know that's all you got, and you got to tee it up in practice this week and get ready.
Yeah, we can't sign any free agents.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Tough day for Austin Allen and the entire Razorback team. Gary Patterson getting closer to 160. That's 151 and a big win on the road over Brett Bielema's Arkansas Razorbacks. And the Razorbacks will fall to 1-1, and they've got an open date next week. And then 2 weeks from now, they play Texas A&M at Arlington at Jerry's World. 28-7. As we take a look at the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. And normally it would be a big run or a big pass play, but this is the one that started to help to ice the game. Look up there, Jonathan Arce at the top of your screen. And this was an underthrown ball, and he came back to it. That led to a pass interference call. It eventually led to another touchdown. Smart play by the wide receiver.
Yeah, in basketball, that would be like drawing a charge.
Beautiful, yeah. Big win. Kenny Hill, he's now 2-1 against the Razorbacks. 1 win at TCU and 1 at A&M back in the day. His ground game was sensational, though. Don't forget, NCIS 48 hours coming up tonight. Next Saturday, we hope to have the Gators and the Volunteers for you. For Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Fayetteville. Final score, TCU 28-7. The Ram postgame show is up next after these messages. So long from Fayetteville.